Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Calben 5-star soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Calben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support Infowars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
The question is, where should the American people draw their line in the sand?
What have we got? A republic or a monarchy?
A republic is based on a constitution which protects minority rights.
Not democracy, not mob rule, two wolves and a sheep voting on what's for dinner.
So they think they own our land, they think they own our water, children, our education, our money.
We have to define who we are and what we will tolerate.
Somebody's going to ask you what you did during the Patriot Uprising.
You have been warned.
We have the facts. We have the Constitution. We have the Bill of Rights. We have common law. Knowledge is power, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm so excited to be able to offer you Don't Tread on Me, Rise of the Republic. Tyranny is upon us, but liberty and the sleeping giant that is the American people is rising. A new tool in the info war. Don't Tread on Me. Order it at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139 and support independent, patriotic Liberty Films.
Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
The Wall Street Journal marveled 2 days ago, saying, this is the most unconventional spies we've ever seen. Good-looking women trying to get into Wall Street, people infiltrating Harvard, infiltrating social network sites. I mean, this was clearly a sleeper cell. Fake names, illegally here, married. They're spies, okay? Unless that's all a hoax. And we did see the FBI hoax about Hatari, and they've been ordered released, and then the feds tried to block that, and that got trumped again, and so that appeal got defeated. So it may be a hoax, but that redhead is supermodel beautiful, and they are here illegally, and they are spies. I mean, all the evidence shows that, but it's very interesting that you have spies infiltrating Wall Street. If you study what the British did 100 years ago, and the CFR around 80 years ago, 1924, was they infiltrated New York and the robber barons and had British wealth, and their robber barons marry with our robber barons. And in the two-part history of the English-speaking peoples, which I've read, by the way, incredible, by Winston Churchill, he admits all this, okay? The British brag they took America back over. It's more of a merger. It's kind of like a marriage. In fact, that's how they describe it. So I wouldn't say take over. They moved in together again. Of course, Churchill was half American and the other half royal, with the Duke of Marlborough. Famous footage we've got of Churchill and his wife actually going to a meeting with the Queen wearing crowns. Because back in the old days, royalty would still wear their little sub-crowns to go meet with the Queen. But I'm going to talk to Bob Chapman because he was in U.S. intelligence, Army intelligence assigned to, well, we won't get into the agency, up against the Ruskies. And the media is saying this is a new type of spying. No, it's not. This is real spying. Okay? Most spying is economic espionage. And it just shows the Russians know what to infiltrate. The Congress is a rubber stamp, a bunch of whores that don't read 94% of the bills. The treason is corporate. Globalism is a corporate takeover. Okay? It's corporate espionage. So while we're afraid of the Ruskies, and they could be a threat, China's much bigger, 3,000 plus admitted front companies, totally infiltrating us. Our government sold us out and deindustrialized us. We're going to talk to Bob Chapman about that, but Max wanted to say some kind words about Bob and explain that cookie thing. Now I know he plugs a cookie shop down the street from him in Paris, and they get thousands of emails every time he plugs them, and then he gets a free cookie. Now, I tell you, that is some expensive cookie there. I mean, a plug on this show is probably worth about $1,000, and that's fine, Max, but if you want to spend your plugs that way without saying maxkaiser.com, then you can go ahead and plug the cookies. But I hope you're getting more than one cookie. Tell us about your favorite cookie place.
Yeah, the sugarplumcakeshop.com down the street from where I live. The new bakery in my neighborhood run by these three women. Very, very attractive, cute, perky women.
That's what's happening is you're actually hitting on the women right now.
Basically, yeah. So, I mean, you PayPal them, $5 at sugarplumcakeshop.com, and I'll be sure to get a cookie.
Okay, this is part of the brainiacs like to screw around with funny jokes, and I've noticed that the eccentric types do that. I'm eccentric myself at some levels, but you're now basically prostituting people to worship the women over there. But that's fine. I hope people buy you some cookies. Max Kaiser, we'll see you again in a few weeks. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Alex.
You bet. Take care. Maybe there's Russian spies over there. No, I'm being sarcastic. Okay, let's get serious. Let's go to Bob Chapman, who had the biggest newsletter in the financial newsletter in the world till he retired more than a decade ago. Of course, the biggest private silver and gold broker. He's lived all over the world, South Africa, France, Germany, you name it. During the break, we forgot to get the plug. Max was telling me how for decades he's been reading what Bob Chapman has to say. So there's another nomination for Bob as being one of the best experts and trends forecasters out there, especially on the markets. So we have a lot to talk about with him today, with the dollar plunge after UN call to ditch greenback and a lot more. But first, Bob, you heard me before Kaiser precipitated on cookies again, that my take on these Russian sex operatives, sleeper sex operatives is what I would call them, and the fact that they're trying to relaunch a new Cold War on the back of this. But more interestingly, that you see the Russians trying to infiltrate the gold and silver market to try to find out what's happening in New York, because they're big buyers, because they know it's rigged, and also infiltrating Harvard and Facebook-style systems. I mean, that's really where the real black ops are going on. Or do you disagree, Bob Chapman?
Well, it's certainly on the ground a type of counterintelligence, and you are very, very right in saying that is real spying. And you're right. Everything else is usually done by satellite today. And one of the complaints about the good guys inside the CIA is we didn't do any of that anymore, or we're not doing much of that anymore. And that's where the action is. And so the Russians have done it, and they've done it over and over again, and they're really good at it. I mean, people in America discount the abilities of people in other countries. The Russians are very bright people. I know, I worked against them. And so it's not surprising they have such units within the United States, and they probably are guilty. But I think in your conversation with Max, the timing is very important. This has been a well-planned takedown and furtherance operation, perhaps because of the wearing out of the terrorism label, and maybe we got to find some no bogeyman, who in this case would be the Russians again. And yes, the Russians have been buying gold for a long time, and they're expediting their purchases. And we've covered all this in the International Forecaster. But I think, and I'm only guessing, that the Russians are monitoring, yes, I'll get it out, monitoring several publications. Mine's one of them, and Gather is another one. And they attended a very high Russian official from the finance division of the Russian government back about 8 years ago, attended one of Gather's meetings in Alaska. If I'm not mistaken, that's the location. And they got filled in, and they saw the direction that things would eventually have to go and knew they had to accumulate. And they knew from attending that meeting and reading their stuff as well as mine that the markets are being rigged, and they wanted to be able to take advantage of it. In other words, like we'll take just recently, gold was taken down $35 or $40 in one day. And if they can know something like that ahead of time, they can go short, and then, like today, cover their short and go long as well. And so they are heavily playing the gold market, and they have, even when it was the Soviet Union.
Well, remember Dr. Titania Karada